Hey, today I'm talking about 3 Geena Davis films, and the names of those 3 movies are Marjorie Prime, Quick Change, and The Long Kiss Goodnight. First up is Marjorie Prime. This is a 2017 film starring Geena Davis. It also features John Hamm, Tim Robbins, and an incredible performance by Lois Smith. This is based off a play of the same name, and the basic premise is, in the near-ish future, we have developed a technology that lets you, in a sense, resurrect a dead person, a friend, relative, as a hologram. Fully featured, looks pretty much just like it. The main thing is, though, you have to teach it. Like, you can use the internet to access stuff and like obituary and learn some things, but you have to like tell it stories so that they slowly learn how to actually become this other person. And it's a really, really good, interesting movie that is not for everyone. It is incredibly slow and incredibly dialogue heavy. Like, there is really nothing else that happens, it's just the dialogue. Like, if you stop paying attention to every single word, if you're like 99% focused, you miss a lot. Ugh. And that's what makes this movie so hard, but it's rewarding because you have to pay attention to not only to what people are saying, but the very subtleness of how they're saying it. And that just goes to show like the mastercraft that goes into this film. But because of that, this is not a movie for everyone, and like you have to be in like the right mood to watch this movie. This is an examination of memory, like what do we remember of people, like what are the stories we tell of those people? How do we remember those people? But then also like, what are the lies we tell ourselves, both about ourselves and other people? And like, for what reason are we telling those lies to ourselves? What facets of our lives do we keep hidden, even like from ourselves? And it's also about grief and trying to let go. Yeah, no, it's a really good, really powerful movie that I would cautiously recommend. Like, it's great, but you have to set yourself up for success with this movie. Otherwise, next up is Quick Change. This is a 1990 film, both starring and co-directed by Bill Murray. This is the only movie he's ever directed. That's crazy. It also features Geena Davis and Randy Quaid. And the basic premise is, this is kind of like a love letter to how shitty New York City is. The whole point of it is basically to just show off all of the awful aspects of New York City. And it's great. The plot, though, is that like Bill Murray and company, they rob a bank and they're trying to get out of New York. But in a sense, everything that could go wrong does go wrong. But it's more just like, New York is so shitty that just like, it's not like, oh my god, you're an idiot for making all these stupid mistakes. It's more just like, New York sucks. How does anyone navigate this shit? This is terrible. And it's great. I was kind of expecting it to be more of like a laugh out loud comedy. And it is funny, but it's more just like amusing rather than funny, if that makes sense. Like, I was having a good time. I did actually laugh out loud a couple times near the end, but it was just kind of like a nice, pleasant experience. And Geena Davis is ridiculously beautiful in this movie. Like, I fell madly in love with her here. It was just like the perfect combination of everything. And Tony Shalhoub was actually fantastic. I wasn't expecting him to be in a lot of this movie. I thought it was just gonna be like a scene, maybe 2, but he sticks around and he is pretty dang great. Also, there's a fun little appearance by Stanley Tucci, and he's a lot of fun to see. I didn't end up putting this in the really liked, but I don't really have any complaints. It just didn't like get pushed over the edge by anything. It's still really solid, and I definitely would recommend it. It's a good fun time. And Geena Davis is so gorgeous. And lastly is The Long Kiss Goodnight. This is a 1996 film starring Geena Davis again and Sam Jackson, and it was written by Shane Black, and this is very hardcore a Shane Black film. The basic premise is essentially just the Bourne Identity. Apparently it's loosely based off of that, which makes sense, except instead of a man in the leading role, it's a woman. And it's I'm not a fan. I think my main issue is that IMDb listed this as a crime, thriller, drama, mystery, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, let's do that. But it's missing a key thing in that this is definitely a comedy. They are throwing off really cheesy, corny jokes left and right, and it is a lot. But it's not like a full and out comedy. But it's also, because of all those jokes, not a full on drama. So like they're just kind of splitting the difference there. And I think I would have enjoyed this a lot more had it picked a lane, just either been a full out, full on comedy or a full on, full out drama. I also really didn't like the characterization of Geena's character because it feels like Shane just wrote this as a man, but just changed all the pronouns. I'm not saying I need the main character to be like super feminine or anything, but like there's more of a nuance to it. They made her say like these really crude, dumb, sexual jokes often. And it felt like they weren't saying it because her character like felt natural for it. It felt like they were like, okay, this is the only way that male audiences are going to accept this woman as our action hero is if she's, you know, constantly talking about sex and penises and boobs. But it's like, no, that's dumb. I don't like this. So yeah, I didn't super care for it. I didn't hate it. I didn't put it in the didn't liked, but I didn't enjoy it and I don't recommend it. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Marjorie Prime sitting at number 45 in the really like section. And then after that, a little ways down, is Quick Change sitting at number 79 in the quite like section. And then bringing up the rear, rightfully so, is The Long Kiss Goodnight sitting at number 155 in the meh category. And this is out of a total of 186 old movies so far this year.